All right, everybody's joining. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Life Reawakened Show. We have a special call here today. We are here. Eram is interviewing today. Say hi, Eram, so everybody can see you.
Hello, hi everybody. Great
Awesome.
to be here.
And so Eram is interviewing Mary Halima Fleming today. So we have a really special call, and you're going to find out why Eram absolutely insisted on bringing Mary on and also insisted on doing this call today. So you guys are in for a real treat. Type in, let us know where you're calling from so we know the chat's working. All right, we got Sandra from Chicago. I see hands raised
Hi,
already.
Sandra,
Debbie from British Columbia. We got
Marianne, Michelle, Annie. Hello, hello, all of you. Tabitha from Texas. All right, Lynn, Rita. Oh, wow, that's it's moving so fast.
yeah, so guys,
Wonderful to have you all.
thanks for the hearts. And also, as usual, keep up questions in the chat. So Eram knows that she's asking the right questions that you guys are interested in hearing from Mary. And so let's keep this really interactive. And with that, I am going to turn off my camera and let Eram take over.
Well, hello, guys. It is wonderful to see you guys and to be here with you. As Gretchen said, I had been so excited about having Mary Halima back on the show, and I insisted that we need to bring her back. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes and why I really felt that the FHTJ community could benefit from having someone like Mary Halima talk to them and offer her services. So we've known Mary Halima for a few years. She's been on FHTJ before, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys because, as you probably know, having been the host of a global tel summit for energy healing and for anything metaphysical and spiritual, oh my goodness, for more than 12 years now, I frequently get to meet a lot of really amazing healers, amazing psychics, amazing readers. And when somebody typically gives me a reading, I usually don't get impressed. There's only maybe one or two people that have impressed me. And, as is what happens with readings, if you're getting an astrological reading or something to do with numerology, you get to find out a lot about who you are, what are your natural gifts and abilities, and that's good. That's good to know. Um, but very few times that does somebody predict your life purpose in a way that this is what's going to happen. This is what you were born to do. So I want to talk about that with you guys. This was back in, I think it was 2017, right, Mary Halima?
Yeah, or somewhere in there, 19, 18, something in the teens.
It was definitely before 2019.
Yeah.
So why I know this is because I did my reading with Mary Halima, and in my reading, she told me quite a few things. Many of those I already kind of knew that, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to help people, and I'm supposed to especially help women. And one of the things Mary Halima told me was that I was one of those people that I think it's a smaller percentage who are basically messenger leaders or leader messenger, something like that, a leader with a message. And I was like, what's my message? and 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 she said, you are here to share a message and you're going to be a trailblazer. And I said, well, here's the thing, I'm already 47. I was 47 at that time.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's how I know. Like, I'm 47 and I haven't really been doing this message sharing thing a lot. So when is this supposed to happen? And then she goes, Eram, it's part of your destiny to be seen. You have to be seen. And I'm like, what do you mean by seen? And she said, people need to see you. They need to know you. So you have to be seen when you're sharing your message and stuff. I'm like, are you talking about video? Because I hate that. I absolutely hate being on camera. I hate being on video. I'm very shy. I'm a total introvert. I hate it. I'm never going to do it. She's like, well, it's sort of in your destiny. You can't escape it. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I've been running FHTJ, but I think at that time it was like 10 years. I'm like, yeah, for a decade I've been running this really successful summit and I've been on audio. And Mary goes, yeah, you've been hiding, right? You've been hiding behind the scenes. I'm like, yeah, but I'm very comfortable and I'm already helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I hate to admit this, Mary Halima, I didn't put much stock in it. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, fine. So, and the thing that Mary Halima told me, and this was a recorded call, that Eram, it's all going to happen by the age of 49. At 49, you're going to start moving into your purpose, and it's going to happen. You can't escape it. So, of course, I forgot all about the reading afterwards and moved to Pakistan, as you guys know, over there, just on a whim, because it was COVID too, not a lot to do. I started making a few videos simply because I thought, well, you know, the Pakistani women could really use some of this stuff that I have learned in the West. I can talk to them about it. I can talk to them about the beauty of Islam so that they don't get confused about, you know, the modern feminism that actually had become quite toxic there. And I went viral within 6 months. I had over 100 million views. And it became crazy. And then, of course, that started my whole other journey of really being passionate about helping Muslim women fight for their God-given rights and, you know, helping them get out of oppression, recognize that Islam doesn't oppress them. It's the culture that's oppressing them. Then I came back to the US in November. And I think, Mary Halima, you heard one of my talks that I was doing. And so she sent me this recording. She's like, you know, I felt called to send you this recording that we did a few years ago, which was my personal session, and see what you think about it now. So now, of course, when she sent it to me, I was 52. And so the age of 49 had passed. And I was just blown away because everything that Mary Halima had been talking about when I was 47, it came true and it started happening when I turned 49.
I got goosebumps.
I know, I'm getting goosebumps too right now. It's like,
oh, yeah.
And it's that because what she had told me was, this is your soul's blueprint, your palm prints, your fingerprints don't lie. This is what your soul, this is like the coded message from your soul. And when you know how to read it, then you can tell the other person this is what their soul purpose is. And I was so excited. I'm like, I have to bring you back. We have to do this again, because now that I know how important it is once you are on your soul's purpose, how life changes, how fulfilled you feel, how it is. It's like having that clarity that, yes, I'm absolutely doing what I am meant to do. It's really interesting, and we'll talk about that during the call, that it's not that I don't love life. I do. But it's also at the same time, if I were to die tomorrow, I would be perfectly happy because I'm doing what I'm meant to do. It's not like there's something still left that I was supposed to do and I didn't do it. So it's really, really, it brings this other kind of sweetness to life that I had not experienced before. So that's the brief background of why I really wanted Mary Halima to talk to you guys and talk about her services, because if you feel called, this is really, really a life-changing experience. Since then, I have had Mary Halima do sessions for my VIP clients. And again, the same thing. It was just so affirming and literally life-changing for a couple of them. So here we go. I want to tell you a brief background about Mary Halima, and then we'll jump in. We'll talk about all this stuff so you guys get to know her. Remember, please share from the reactions button. You can give me any kind of reaction so I know that you're connecting, so that I know that this is helping you. So Mary Halima is a life purpose acceleration coach. She's a healer and a hand analyst, and she has been decoding the blueprints in the hands and fingerprints for 22 years. To date, she has helped more than 10,000 souls know their unique purpose, gifts, talents, and assigned lessons. She sets you on a course for holding and living the highest vision of your journey here in what she calls Earth University School for Souls. So Mary Halima is a Sufi, and we will find out from her how she learned this from the Sufi teachings of her master, of her teacher. According to Mary Halima, life is a journey. We'll help you know where you are on this journey and where your path is leading you. During this session, we'll be sharing the secrets hidden in plain sight on your palms and encoded in your fingerprints. This is about her when she does your session. You'll experience a deep heart meditation to open your soul, where your blueprint and decree for this life is written before you were born. When you know your purpose, life is an array of splendor. You know who you are and why you're here on earth. Mary Halima will also be offering a clearing to clear your assigned soul lessons, such as guilt, shame, lost self-worth, fear, and whatever is holding you back from living the life you secretly know that you were meant to live. She'll also help you discover your particular assigned curriculum or major here in Earth University. This curriculum is a master key and catalyst that easily unfolds your higher purpose. So we will be taking questions. We will also be doing one-on-ones. And now formally welcome my dearest Mary Halima. Alaikum. Wonderful to have you with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And Eram, what you have, the message to deliver to the mass market, which you are doing so beautifully, eloquently, and so just incredibly. That's a rare gift that only 0.5% of people have. And when the divine...
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, but you're doing it. And look at all the people that showed up. Because when God's spirit, all that is, makes the messenger, they always already created other people that need to hear it through you, through your experience, through your knowing and everything, who you are. So you teach what you know. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing it. And when we are living our purpose and our gifts, you know, life is great.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, what I pray for everyone, and what took me a long time to find for myself, is that that our daily life becomes aligned, so that what we're, you know, who we are, what we love, what we, you know, cherish, what we talk about is, it doesn't feel like work. It's just like we're living an aligned life. Whereas I was in corporate America for a while, and I was one person from 9 to 5, miserable. And then, oh, I could be myself on the weekends and at night, right? So yeah, so we want everyone to have a life like that, where it feels aligned, joyful, no matter what it is that you're doing, that it doesn't feel like work. And you know, we're not just trying to pay the bills and like that. And we're designed for that.
Yeah. You know, when I did my first few videos, I did them because I was passionate about them. I really wanted to do them.
Yeah.
And then when it turned into a business, I still, to this day, I'm like, I can't believe people want to pay me for this, because I love doing it anyway, you know?
Yeah. And that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. It's like you're doing what you love to do. You can't believe you're getting paid for it, and life is great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There was another thing you had told me because I keep going back and listening to the recording. One of the things you had told me was that, Eram, you are supposed to charge for the worth of what you're teaching you. So don't ever make it cheap. Don't try to be that healer who's just there to help people. They don't take care of themselves. There's no boundaries. So your teachings are premium quality, so you need to charge premium pricing, which is so interesting, because so many times, as you know, people who are healers and they want to help people, you go into guilt, and you just like, oh, maybe I should do this. And every time I've done that, Mary Halima, every time it's like people don't shift. They don't put in the work they're supposed to put in. And I'm like, yeah, like I keep getting reminded.
And then you get drained, and it's not fun because you don't get the right clients.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're getting a lot of questions, and I will get you to your questions, you guys. I just want to first ask Mary Halima, so we have some background. So I mentioned that you are a Sufi healer. I myself follow Sufi teachings. Really, I love them. So tell us a little bit about that journey, and how did you learn how to do this from your teacher?
Okay, yeah. So the real bottom line quick story is, I came into the world at very young age, at like 3, 4, 5 years old, asking, Mommy, what's my purpose? Why am I here?
Wow.
And I'm old, and nobody knew the question, never mind the answer. And I asked the teachers, anybody, and nobody, they just say, what, you're too young for that, or what are you doing? You know, so it was my biggest pain. And I tried to find my purpose. There's a point to this story. I tried to find my purpose from my head. So, oh, I like travel. I work for an airline. Oh, I like art. I work for a prestigious art gallery. Oh, I like, you know, and by the end, I had gone through like 8 corporate careers. I was selling billboards in Times Square. And out of deep frustration, and this is one way that people can find their own purpose, besides getting a life purpose hand analysis reading, is I did the morning pages in the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And she also wrote the book, It's Never Too Late to Begin Again. And what you do is you just write 3 pages a day, stream of consciousness for like 8 weeks. And it's a manifesting technique. And I wrote a deep letter to God and I said, look, I want to know my purpose. I want to pick up the phone. You better be on the other end and tell me my purpose. So that's it. I'm going to be an alcoholic. I'm done, because my job was entertaining clients. And so basically what happened was, out of the blue, by the time I was reading back page 1, everything that I asked for in that deep letter to the divine source, all that is, I had read palms for 30 years. Just as a hobby. And anyway, so what happened was, somebody called me up out of the blue and said, hey, there's a hand analysis institute that teaches life purpose. They teach fingerprints. I know you used to read palms. So I went to that school, and at the exact same time, I opened up a magazine and I saw a picture of the Sufi saint from Jerusalem who was bringing a healing school to America. So at the same exact time, 2001, I went to both schools at the same time in California. And by a year later, I was a full-time Sufi healer, teacher, and hand reader. So what makes me different is I use the hand analysis fingerprint system, and I also do combine it with the Sufi cosmology and understanding. So it's a combination of both. And my beautiful guide, Sheikh Sidi Muhammad Al-Jamal, may Allah sanctify his secret. He's up on the other side. He used to send me clients and he taught me the secrets, because I'm not reading I'm reading the fingerprints, and there's actually 19 master lines on each fingerprint, and they're connected to the arteries in our heart. So when the divine decree and blueprint writes in your purpose, it's connected to your heart. It's what you love to do. You know, it's a beautiful, we're just a beautiful fractal of the divine, and we're each just a recipe, a flavor, a fragrance in our own specific way, here to express different qualities of the divine. Does that make sense?
Yes, I love that. That is so beautiful. We are here to express the different qualities of the divine. That is so beautiful. I love that. And that's basically purpose in a nutshell. Now, which qualities, that's what we have to figure out.
Right.
So talk to me about, if you will, please, about all this really high level information on our palm prints and fingerprints. And do all of us have it? And
No.
what kind of information can you find?
Oh, okay, great. Lots of information. So our fingerprints are a map of our soul, so they don't change. And our fingerprints, each of our fingerprints, of course, are unique, right? We're all unique creation. And the fingerprints is a map of your soul, which is 70,000 times bigger than your physical body. It's more who you are. And so it contains your life purpose. It contains also your assigned life lessons, which sometimes feels like a punishment, but it's actually the training you need to support your purpose. And your life lessons learned actually amplify your purpose and become part of your purpose. And the third thing that's in the fingerprints is, we're all here souls going to Earth University School for Souls. And in Earth University School for Souls, just like college and university, we're each assigned a certain major, and some of us double majors. That's the master key to our whole life. So that's really an important thing too. And what it is we're clearing, because we're all here now. If you think about it, a generation or two ago, somebody said, what's your purpose? They're like, what are you talking about? Go chop some wood, go kill a deer, we got to eat. Everybody was in survival. So this is 21st century soul technology. And so I'm also reading the palms, and the lines on the palm can change.
Mm.
So I will never be predicting how long somebody's going to live, because I have seen over, let's see, how many years have I doing it now? Maybe 50 years of reading palms. I've seen lifelines grow. I've seen lifelines shorten. So that is something I'll never predict. I've seen marriage lines change. I've seen children's lines change.
Wow.
And people have done studies about this. And they found that the marriage lines, the lifeline, the children's lines are only 50% accurate. So there's no point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking for in the palm is a map of your mind, your heart, your experiences. I can tell if somebody's had a horrific divorce, a little sword. Let's just see like a little sword go right into the heart. It's really, oh. And then, but what I'm looking for is, and this is what you had, Eram, in the palm, everybody's gifted, right? But in the hand analysis system, there are 17 rare gifts that are either in the fingerprints or in the palm. And that's what I'm looking for. And you had two, the one about charging high prices, that's a gift, a rare gift that only 10% have. And then the other one that you had was lines of genius, which is only 0.5% of people have. So I'm looking for that. And I'm also, what changed my life was why I found out I had a gift of being a healer. So you have that gift also.
Mhm.
And if anybody has a deep, deep question, which I had for years, I know there's something more I should be doing. What is it? I know there's something more. This can't be it. What is it? Chances are you're a healer, a
Yeah.
guide, a coach, a spiritual teacher, so yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And just so you guys know, I want to clarify something. You know, what Mary Halima told me, you also told me that it was something about like there's you can live your life the way you want to, and it's all going to be fine. But if you don't do certain things, it's almost like a penalty. Like you'll know it that, oh, you're supposed to be doing it and you're not doing it. And what you told me, for me, it was being a healer to the healers, that
Right.
you have to heal the healers. And I'm like, oh my God, all my, clients, they're energy healers. How would I heal them? They're master level healers. And you said, well, you're kind of already doing it because you help train them how to be on a telesummit, then you introduce them to the world. So you're healing their financial issues. And that
Right.
was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. So, when you're a healer, you're answering these questions. That's healing too. So healing can come in different ways. It's not just necessarily through energy healing or hands-on healing or anything like that.
Right.
So that's super, super important to know. Couple of people asked this question, and I think I asked you this too, that so what happens if your fingerprints are really not that strong? Like mine, whenever I have to go for the government, ID thing, oh my God, it takes me so many times because my fingerprints are really, really eroded and light. And then what
Yeah.
if you accidentally cut yourself and there's now a line because of that?
Yeah, well, people that always tell me, oh, I can't get my fingerprints done, but I can always see it. I mean, I have a gigantic magnifying glass and they're always there. And again, I'm not reading like the police, I'm reading the 19 master lines, right? So that helps a lot. And I will say if somebody has their fingerprint cut off, like, I had a gentleman who he was working with a saw and his finger got cut off, right? So it does impact your purpose. But in 10,000 people, I've never had any fingerprints I couldn't read.
Wow. So 10,000 fingerprints. Can you share maybe one or two stories that stayed with you that, had an impact on you, Mary Halima?
Sure. Oh, what really comes to mind is, I've read people from 7 years old to 97 years old. So it's never too early. It's never too late. And this one woman who I love dearly, and she was struggling. She was in her 60s. She was working 3 part-time jobs just to survive. And I was like, let me read your hands. So I read her hands. It turns out she had that mark of the gifted healer. I said, you're a healer. What are you doing? She goes,
Mm.
and she was always a giver. You can tell you if you're a healer, if you're a good listener, you're always helping people, because that's natural for a healer. But this gift mark says you have to step in, like you were saying. There's a penalty for not doing it. You won't find what you love to do. You're missing out on the paying, because when you're a gifted healer, you have to charge.
Mm.
The reason you charge is not about the money. It's so people show up. It's so you don't get drained. It's so you don't get you get the right clients, and people do the work, right? Otherwise they just drain you and they're just showing up because it's cheap. And the divine will always tell you how much to charge. Anyway, she stepped into it. She went and took 2 courses, and within a year, she was working full time, making money, doing what she loved to do, which she would have done for free anyway. And she didn't have to do those part-time jobs anymore. And she was just happy, so
That's
it's
so
never
cool.
too late. Yeah, it's never too
That
late.
is so cool. So that's what I wanted to ask you. So when you get your life purpose, soul purpose analysis done, if
Yeah.
you're kind of a little bit out of alignment, you can still make the changes and get back on track.
Oh, absolutely. It's never too late, and you can always change. And what most people tell me is, I kind of knew that, but now I know it, because
Yeah.
you told me you don't know me from Adam or Eve, and it's written in my hands. Like you showed me, it's written here. I got my blueprint here, and then people believe it, and it does something, because it confirms. Or people say, I always thought I was supposed to be on stage, but who, me? I'm like, yeah, you. So it just kind of, sets them on track for like, okay, I believe it. I know it.
Beautiful. So Mary Halima, if you
Mhm.
mentioned earlier that you have seen, lines change, marriage lines, children lines, or
Yeah.
whatever else. What do you think causes the change? Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, why do they, if you're reading somebody's hand and it looks like, okay, they're going to get divorced, you may
Yeah.
not tell them that, but you see that, but then you find out that their lines changed and it didn't happen. In your
Yeah.
experience, what are some of the common reasons why that happens?
Well, part of it is because this is the planet of free will. We're playing the game of free will, right? On this
Yeah,
planet, it's a game. But, that's a whole nother discussion.
yeah.
Um, but what I found out early, when I was like 20 years old, I was living in Atlanta, and I read a young man, and it's just also the divine intervention, because he had a short lifeline. In the old palm reading book, I looked, it said, oh, this guy's going to die at 24. I asked him, I was like, well, how old are you? And he says, oh, 23 and a half. I'm like, oh, great. So I didn't know at that time what to say about it. I just kind of avoided the question. But we did talk about it a little. And then 2 weeks later, he called me. He said, you're not going to believe this. I survived a car accident without a scratch. My car was totaled. I keep getting chills every time I hear this. I say this. And he said, I felt this electricity in my hand while I was waiting for the car. And I looked down and my lifeline grew. I'm like, get over here. I want to see it. So
Oh,
I saw the before, I saw the after, and so I will never again, and I take an oath as a Sufi not to predict things. And I take an oath as a hand reader not to predict life or death. And I've had to do healings on people. They went to the Madame Zenobia on the boardwalk, in Atlantic City or something, and they're told they're going to die and this and all that. And it's like, it's really not right. Yeah. So
wow.
either
Wow.
divine or it's free will. Yeah.
That was an amazing story. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I want to read a comment from Michelle Myers. She's saying, same for me. I guess that's when I was sharing my story. She said, same for me. Mary's reading did exactly for me what it did for Eram. I listened to her reading from the recording every now and then and hear new things that move me forward each time. Same here. It's like when I listen to it again, I'm like, huh, I missed this last time. Interesting. You know how our subconscious is so smart. It's like it's not gonna, even if we're listening, we can't hear it. So
Yeah.
it's, yeah, those are and it's like a blessing. The reading is filled with blessings, so you receive the blessings as well. Wow. So that was a really amazing story where his lifeline just changed. Really beautiful and powerful. And do you find, Mary Halima, that our life purpose ultimately, even though they're different, ways that we express them, but
Uh-huh.
ultimately, is it always connected one way or another to being of service to others?
Um, it can be. I mean, that is the divine law, service to others over service to self.
Mhm.
However, what a lot of people are clearing in Earth University School for Souls is it's not supposed to be 100% for others and 0 for us. So many of us, or at least 10 to 12 to 15% of people are in the school of really realigning to what is the true way of service in the divine's way, because we've been false programmed, false matrix for thousands of years that we're supposed to suffer, sacrifice, and we give everything, we die for other people. So one of the master keys for people is to align service to others over service to self, to be in balance. Not,
Yeah.
like 51% for others, 49 for us, 55, 45, but not 90 to others and 10 for us. So, and to know that we're here to give from our abundance and not from our finite chi or substance.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. I love that. From our abundance and not from our finite chi. I love that. And that's what you told me in the reading too, that you are never, the divine does not want you to exhaust yourself and then you have no energy left for your own life and for others. And what good are you going to be then?
Right.
So, yeah, I love that, the balance and how beautifully it's supposed to unfold. So you guys, if you have more questions, you can send them in now and I'll ask Mary Halima for you. Now, you mentioned there are 17, I think you said, rare gifts,
Yeah,
right?
17 rare gifts that
Can you share
and
some of
really
them?
only 10% of them will have one gift, but you had several rare gifts that support your purpose, and for some people it becomes their purpose. Yeah, the healer, there's a gift of a healer, there's a gift of a messenger with a message to deliver to the mass market, like you. There's one where really people are really need to step into their leadership. It's called the Star of Jupiter, and every gift mark has its upside and its challenge side. So, like for the Star of Jupiter, are you spending too much time being the power behind somebody else's throne when you're supposed to be on your own throne?
Oh,
So, and just like the healer, are you giving it away? Is it a hobby and you're just helping all your friends all the time and nobody's helping you? That's a penalty. And then you don't get to do what you love. And also, the other thing about the gifted healer is that if you want it and you're doing it full-time focus and charging, you also get a divine beloved partner that the divine chooses for you, that is, you're the perfect for them and they're the perfect for you. So that's where the penalty comes in. You don't, if you're just going to start giving it away and just make it a hobby and don't step in, then you don't get that divinely chosen beloved partner. And you
yeah.
don't get to do what you love to do. What's some of the other gifts? There is also called a star of, it's one of the newer gifts that just showed up on the planet, star of intention. And so those people are manifestors. And so they just have to be careful. Like if they intend, oh, I'm going to have a good day today, they'll have a good day. And if they intend, like, in fact, that lady that I told you went from working part-time jobs to being a full-time healer, she had the star of intention. And if she just intended to, oh, so yes, she's a manifestor. So yeah, so you have to be careful what you intend if you have that gift.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I think would be helpful to know for someone.
Yeah,
Like,
right, exactly, right?
be careful
Yeah.
what you are focusing
Like,
on.
oh, darn, I forgot I said that. She's
Yeah.
called back up. No, I really do want to work.
That is so funny. Yeah, that is very important for someone to know, in our culture, in the Pakistani culture, in the Indian subcontinent, we have this term called so and so has a black tongue. You know, what that means is that whatever they say comes true. And people notice it because the negative has been coming true. So we're, you know, it's like if they say, oh, so-and-so has a black tongue, so that means be careful around them. If they say something negative to you, make sure that they cancel right there and say something positive, because whatever they say usually comes true. So that is really important to know. I actually did not even know that that's a real thing, and that it's on your palm
Yeah,
print.
it's on the thumb. Yeah. So,
Oh, wow. So we have some more questions. I want to address one question. Somebody wants to know, can Mary Halima do the palm reading without being physically present with them? Yeah, I actually haven't had the great pleasure of being with Mary Halima in person. She will send you a kit and the instructions will be on there. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. You will take the print, you will be told how to do it, and then you send it back to Mary Halima, and then you will get on a call with her so that she can give you the reading. And with the reading, it's basically, the reading is a blessing. So you will receive energy throughout that too. And we'll talk about that in detail in just a few minutes when we talk about the offer. Another question was, do we have a money line, and does that change?
some people have it actually in their life purpose in their fingerprints, and where there's a life purpose of being a tycoon, of being a big thinker and doing big things and having a lot of money. So that's really where I look for it. And I can tell for most people whether their soul really understands money and business or not. And some people just don't have it. I mean, so don't go there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then some people have the Midas Touch, which is there's a gift mark called the Midas Touch too, which Eram has also, which is the one where you are meant to be at the high end of the market. You're not the supercut ladies doing high volume at cheap prices. You're doing high, less people, but at high enough
I
money.
value. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've been told, you have the Midas touch. You have the Midas touch. You can, if I even sit in a meeting with someone who is starting a business, so they
Yeah.
have an idea, and I listen to that idea, and I may just make a very slight tweak. And next thing I know, it's like, oh my God, this did it. It's like, oh, wow. The problem is, I'm usually bored with a lot of business ideas. So I'm usually just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
it's not your
know,
purpose. It's a reminder that you've got it, but it's not your purpose. Yeah.
yeah,
And by the way, for everybody, your purpose is a journey. And I do want to say that, being a mom at some time, that's a beautiful, holy purpose,
it
being a
is.
mom or being a parent. It's not the big P, it is a purpose. And so we go through different times of our life. And so it's a journey, and you're always on purpose in one way or another. You can't really get off it, and it can get better and better and better and bigger and more enjoyable and more satisfying.
Yeah.
So it never ends.
So for example, Mary, when you gave me the reading, okay, so my main purpose is to be this messenger leader. Okay, great. And then the we can say, I guess, the minors in the subject selection, in the course curriculum selection, I had the other things, including the Midas touch and everything else. So what happened in my life? I went through abuse and oppression till 40. And then after 40, my journey was about fighting back and, saying, no, I will not be oppressed anymore. I'm going to live life on my own terms. At that time, I did not have a good relationship with God. I thought God was one of my oppressors, right? So then the journey started, the fight started, and I overcame oppression. I got the freedom that I wanted, fell in love with God, decided,
Yeah.
ultimate liberation is in complete submission to God. And so the journey continued, and then finally it all came together that part of my purpose, if I'm going to be this messenger leader, then I have to lead by example. And I cannot be, in the in the Pakistani culture, for example, if you're divorced, it's considered a really bad thing, a taboo, whatever. It's changing now. But when I got divorced, it was really bad. So what they expected to see was that if you are strong, then you're going to survive. You're going to be fine after a divorce. What was not expected was that you can actually thrive. And not thrive in the, I keep calling it the distorted feminism model, but thriving with purpose, with passion, with compassion, being submitted to God. And, you know, and I later realized that after age 49, that, oh my God, I was supposed to be this messenger leader for Muslim women, for Pakistani women, especially. And I had to still be a Pakistani woman. I had to still be, passionately speak about Islam,
Mhm.
not go against Islam like a lot of Muslim women do because they believe Islam oppressed them. But I actually did my research and I found out, no, it was the culture. So being successful financially, having been through abuse, having beaten those people in court, having all those stories to tell and say, ladies,
Yeah,
let me be, let my beingness be the permission that you need. If I
yeah,
can do it, you can do it too. Never ever fear. Don't let fear stop you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. And it all makes sense now. I had to go through everything.
right.
I could learn it and I could teach it. And it is so beautiful how the reading also brought all of that together, how you were able to see all of those pieces and say, Eram, this is what it is. This is the big picture, and this is how the smaller puzzle pieces are fitting. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, which we should probably talk about exactly soul lessons. So we have our soul purpose, SOUL, written in our fingerprints, but also our soul's life lessons. And it sometimes most of us, many healers get really tough life lessons or messengers, because that is what, as you heal that is what you give back. And I would rather learn from you and from anybody that lived the experience and been through it in the poster child for the other end of it, of the before and after, than somebody got a PhD in school and college for that.
I agree with you
Right.
100%.
So we all get the exact life lessons. And right now on Earth too, I mean, it's like we all come in and we're getting hugely traumatized, but we now have the tools to really heal faster than we've ever have. And so people are now can give back and they can get paid for it. And their worst life lessons become the biggest gift that they give to the world and to themselves from healing that.
I love that. Beautifully said. And yeah, this is the time for healers, you guys.
Yeah,
This,
exactly.
when I started From Heartache to Joy, we had to convince people about, self-development, about energy healing, about metaphysical stuff. Now, no, everybody knows it. They're looking for people. It's so amazing how things have shifted within a decade. So, okay, let's read some of the comments. Um, so this has been repeated a few times. I don't know if you can answer this. So Lucille says, I have an M on my right palm and I'm left-handed. Does that mean anything? I think I have an M too. I
Yeah,
think.
I have an M too, and I forget what it means. That's like ancient palm reading stuff. And I will say that it doesn't matter which hand things are on. And just for everybody's information, your left hand, the way we say it now, because it's palmistry in some of the old books kind of doesn't work anymore. But your left hand is your inner, your feminine, your receiver. Your right hand is the doer, the masculine, and it doesn't matter which hand you write with or anything. I look at both hands, and sometimes I can tell if something's showing up. It will show up in your right hand. So many people right now I will be looking for like it's called a line of fate, destiny, and career. And it's a diagonal line that starts at the bottom of the palm here and goes up. And if it's in the left hand and not showing up at the right hand, I'm just saying everything's lined up for you now. It's lined up on the inner, just as it hasn't showed up on the outer. And you can start tracking it and you'll start seeing it on your hand and things will start showing up on the outer. And when I quit corporate America, finally for the umpteenth time, and burned my suit and pumps in a barrel in Times Square and said, no more, my fate line, destiny, and career line shot right up my hand like immediately. And so,
Wow.
I was like, okay, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on track.
Okay, this is so important, Mary Halima, because oh my God, I'm going to take a clip out of this talk and save it for my students because so many times, like I just knew it intuitively, right?
Yeah.
That just take the first step. You may not be able to see what's next. A lot of times you're not meant to see what's next. Just take your first step. Now, when I launched FHTJ, it was back in 2012, June. In July, my bankruptcy got discharged. So I was already going through bankruptcy. I had no money.
Wow.
I had to take a course to learn how to do telesummits. And it
Wow.
was, of course, all technology back in 2012 when, Amazon publishing was just still a very new thing. Kindle was a very new thing. I only knew how to use email. That was the extent of my technology. And I had 2 months worth of savings for bills because I was a single mom, I had going through a divorce. And I saw this email landed in my inbox saying, hey, do you want to learn how to do telesummits? And I used to listen to telesummits like 4 hours a day. That was the only thing keeping me going because they were positive messages of hope and, resilience. And something in me just was screaming, yes, this is what I want to do. And frankly, the reason why I wanted to do it was people like you were like my stars, right? I was awestruck, like, oh my God, so much wisdom, knowledge. And it's so funny. I thought if I could become a telesummit host, first of all, I want to share this message with as many people as I can.
Right.
But think about it, I won't have to buy packages. I'll get to know these people one on one.
Right.
I'll get so much, I'll get so
Win-win.
much stuff. Yeah, win-win. So that is how I started. And it just, within 1 year, it crossed 7 figures. How's that even possible? And I had been successful before, but never seen this kind of success. So that's what I tell people. Even if you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what the next steps are, take that first step. Because what I saw, because, sometimes I get visions, what I saw, Mary Halima, when you are supposed to be doing what is in your destiny or in your purpose, it's like I saw these energy packets. You know how they used to show cartoons and they had these bags that they would, if they were going to loot a bank, they had
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
bags
Yeah.
with dollar signs on them. So I saw those bags with dollar signs, and dollar was actually to show me currency, but it's energy packets. And when you take the first step, you get maybe 1 or 3 packets. That's it. And
Yeah.
that shows you a little bit more. So you take maybe a couple of more steps. And then I saw more energy packets coming down. So that told me, okay, when I take the first step, I will not only receive the energy to go on, but I will
Yeah.
receive the resources also. So
Right.
when I put my bottom dollar in, I bought the course on how to do telesummits, and now I'm sitting there going, what do I do with the technology? Well, then Nyla showed up.
Wow. Yeah. See, when you're in alignment with your
Yeah.
purpose, the whole universe conspires to support you.
Yes.
You
Yes.
are stepping into your purpose because
That is,
you were always a healer, but then you morphed into healer of the
yeah.
healer. But because
So
that
if
keeps
somebody is saying they're very stuck, Mary Halima, they're just like, I'm stuck.
take a step. Yeah.
So then when they get the reading from you, you can tell them a couple of next steps that they can take so they can,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Always, always,
Beautiful.
always. I'll tell you, I give them homework. And which reminds me of another good story.
Yes, please.
One person, I mean, her life lesson had to be about finding her voice. And I suggested, please take a singing lesson, not singing for technical, but singing for healing, because there are
Yeah.
beautiful teachers that teach that. Well, cut to 3 years later, she called me up. She goes, I would like to invite you to my album release party. And I was like, oh, really? She said, yeah, I finally took that singing lesson been telling me to take. I did it, found out I sing like an angel. I also a songwriter. She wrote her songs about her healing, her spiritual healing, and she has an album, and I went to LA and did it. So yeah, I mean, it's all written there. It's all, the blueprint is here. It, for some people, I'd have to, it's still a journey. It's not going to like, okay, thanks, I have a plan, do it tomorrow. So it's always a journey, and just gets better and better and better.
Yeah, beautiful. So I want to,
Do I ever give negative?
yeah,
Uh, Usually the people that come to me are is a reflection of me, and I don't usually get negative. I mean, I don't know what negative would be. Um,
hmm,
in Sufism, they say and also it's the same thing. Our fingerprints are formed in utero at 16 weeks. So
wow,
5 months before we're even born, the Navajo Indians say the Great Spirit breathes in the breath of life, carries your soul to be joined with your mom, and the fingerprints that leaves on the way out become your is your blueprint. And so your fingerprints are an energetic topographical imprint. And in Sufism, at that exact same time, our decree is written by the angels in our soul. And one part of the decree is some people are playing the role of a negative, of a negative person, they're playing that role because we're in the planet of duality, right? So somebody's got to play that role. Usually, yeah, maybe it's our parents, who knows? So everybody's a professor in Earth University School for Souls. But the quote unquote negative or dark people, they're not worried about their life purpose. So they
yeah,
don't come up for a reading. So
yeah,
I have in 10,000, I haven't met one. And there's always something positive. And everybody can, even if they're the darkest person, there's always hope, so yeah,
beautiful. I want to
yeah.
quickly announce for you guys also, I know a lot of hands are raised. If you can please keep your hand raised only if you have a question for Mary Halima regarding what we've been talking about, because we won't be able to take a lot of callers. But if you have questions, we can't do a reading right now. Obviously, she has to have a complete handprint done. So if there's questions like, um, what does this mean or what does that mean? Maybe she can help you with that. But if there are questions, especially pertaining to what we've been talking about today, otherwise, please lower your hands, and we're going to ask Gretchen to help us out with this. So we can,
Just real quick, because I've seen this come through a couple times.
Uh-huh.
People in their 60s and 70s are really looking for their purpose. So is it too late? Is it possible? Like, can you help give some
Yeah,
kind of
is it ever too late? Like, oh, your purpose would have been this, but only if too bad you didn't come when you were 40 years old.
Absolutely not. That lady that I talked about that has the album out, 72.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and the other lady was in her 60s, the one that found out she was a healer. It's like it's never too late. And conversely, I met a 7-year-old young boy, and I was reading his mom, and he was like, "Oh, I want my hands red." I was like, "Oh yeah, let me look." And he actually very rare. He had the gifted healer mark. I said, "You're a healer." He went, "Yes, yes," and he got
Oh,
it like that. Then his mother called me 2 weeks later, and she said, "You're not going to believe this, but you told him my little boy that he's a healer." He said he fell down and really hurt himself. He was bleeding all over in the playground at school, and they sent the nurse over. And he said, "I don't need a nurse. I'm a healer." And he put his hand on his knee and he healed his knee. And
wow.
everyone's like, because he believed, right? He didn't have any
That is
filter.
beautiful.
So whether you're 7 or 70 or 97, and for some people, when I've read them in their 80s or 90s, it's just nice to know, yeah, you did it all.
Hmm.
No regrets. You did it all. And if there's something still left undone, you still have time.
Well,
But
this is a good question from Susan. Are
Yeah.
some people not meant to find their purpose until later in life?
well, that would be me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because sometimes we have to go through all these experiences to, that was my biggest wound. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And it wasn't until I was 48 and a half, getting towards that 49 magic number, and when it showed up. And
So is it
now
49 for all people? For most people?
for women, it's
For
that
women.
7 times 7. Yeah. And I was 48 and a half when I found the hand school and met the Sufi saint from Jerusalem. So, it happens when it happens. And it's happening a lot sooner for people now too, because there's a lot of new souls coming in and they're ready and they just need to hear the truth.
Yeah.
They need to
Yeah.
hear the truth. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think before we take callers, Mary, I think it would be better to do the process first because I think questions will come up with that process.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So, There are 3 ways to know your purpose. One is to get a life purpose hand reading, a hand and fingerprint blueprint reading. The other is to, get that book, The Artist's Way, or It's Never Too Late to Begin Again, and really do that morning pages process where you're writing 3 pages a day, stream of consciousness. And the third way is to just let's look in our souls. Our soul is what carries our bigger self. It's already written and encoded in our soul as well as our fingerprints. So I'd like to just lead a little short meditation and opening and call in the angels, the saints, the prophets, the messengers, the holy women, Mother Earth, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and taking a deep breath, and I invite everybody to just sit back and relax. Take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, holding it for a couple of seconds, and then and just sitting back. And I'm just going to open up a process to open our souls, to connect our hearts, souls, and spirits together. And really asking the divine source, creator, all that is, great spirit, higher power, the one that breathes us and beats our heart, to connect our hearts, souls, and spirits today, right now. And I invite you, each of us, to really bow our head and our third eye to the beautiful heart chakra, heart center, because the heart energy center is connected to our soul is connected to our spirit, and we have a divine connection to source inside our beautiful heart energy center. So as you're breathing normally now, just see if you can allow, maybe just put your hand on your heart, either your right hand or your left hand, on your upper center of your heart chest. And as you're breathing normally, see if you can allow your breath to just kind of gently massage underneath your hand. Because everything's written in your heart, soul, spirit, it's all right there. And you might want to even just say the sound that activates the heart chakra. Ah. Then I'm going to use the divine name of source. It's light code, divine name of source. Fatah. Yafata, Yafata, Yafata. Oh, beloved Mother, Father, Spirit, God, I ask you please to open the hearts, souls, and beings of all the people on the call today, right now, and all the people that will be listening to the replay. Help them know, see, feel, hear, get some clarity of what's their purpose, what's they're here to express for their joy. And for some people that see well, you might want to just ask for a picture. Show me me on my best, happiest day. Where am I? What am I wearing? What am I doing? And for people that hear very well, just ask for, just for the divine to give you like the divine always speaks simply. So I might say leader, teacher, healer, just ask for a knowing, a hearing. And if you think you already know your purpose, just ask. Just say, okay, this is what I think it is. Is that right? And just waiting for a confirmation. So I'm going to say a prayer and just allow yourself to go deeper as I say this prayer. Ask. Remember, we have to ask ourselves for what. Show me my soul purpose, how you made me to be. Yafata, Yafata, Yafata. Oh, opener. Open their hearts, souls, and spirits. Help them know, see, feel, imagine clearly their purpose. Bismillah, Rahman, Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Rabbi Alameen, Rahman, Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen, ameen. Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. And if you want, you can say Fatah yourself. Open my purpose. Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. And trust the first thing you get, you're going to get it right away. And if you're not sure, ask for confirmation. You're talking to source inside yourself. Yavata, 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 yavata. Bow that head to your heart. The heart knows more than your head. Yavata, 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 yavata. Yavata, 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 yavata. Yavata, 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 yavata. You know, for empaths, what do you feel like? Imagine where are you? What does it feel to be living your purpose? Yavata, yavata. And what qualities are you here to carry? Are you here to carry light, love, patience, forgiveness, joy? And just trust what you get. Nothing false is going to come in because we're with the light of the divine. Yapata, 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 yapata. Okay, so let's just kind of open our eyes, stay with your heart, stay with that beautiful deep chalice of your heart that is the bridge between the above and the below, our home and our connection to the divine, the truth of who you are. Amen, amen, amen. So I invite everybody to kind of come back into the room. If anybody wants to share or anything they got.
Yeah, please do share in the chat. That was beautiful, Mary Halima. Lots of energy. Really beautiful. Thank you so much. So you guys can type your question in, and maybe Gretchen, you can unmute a couple of callers that have their hands raised.
Sure. Guys, let us know how you're feeling after that activation. And also, if you got any information, that would be awesome. We would love to hear how you guys are doing. Tabitha, you are up first. So, and I see you put in a comment, so you can tell us more about that. You can unmute yourself now, Tabitha.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Oh, that
Great.
was beautiful. I just felt so happy. I saw a line of people just lifting them up. It just was beautiful.
And did you say you were healer? You saw you were healer? You saw
I,
people waiting for you, or what was it?
yeah, there was like a line of people waiting to see me.
Wow. Is that what you're doing now, or?
I practice Reiki and sound healing, and I combine that with the emotion code. So I help people to release emotions, and then I provide Reiki healing and sound healing as they release them. I do that
Beautiful. So you're
part-time.
on it. So you got a confirmation, you're on it, and people are waiting for you. And then you can also use this process just go in and ask the divine how much to charge, because the divine is the best marketer and the best price setter, and will always give us more than we would give ourselves. So you can always check that out too. But people are waiting. That's how beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Is there a message or something else that I should know, or is there a process that you're doing that I can participate in?
Well, I think that
So we're going to talk about the
messages. I already gave you your homework. Ask the divine how much to charge, because I feel like you're not charging enough.
Okay.
yeah, we're going to talk about the program in just a bit, Tabitha. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good job. So I saw a couple other, I'm going to call more people, but I saw some good questions here.
Okay.
Susan's asking, are we supposed to make money with our purpose? I got my purpose. It is to help others find their light, which I've been doing, but I don't make any money at it.
Well, are you a multimillionaire and you can afford to not charge? So usually if somebody is a healer, it is required that you charge. And so that's something, you know, maybe we can do a process just really to ask, but you can go in and just ask the divine, ask source, ask your heart, should you be charging? Because if you're getting drained, if you're just giving, and you're not receiving back, it doesn't feel it's a win-lose, and God doesn't do win-lose. God only does win-win. And so that's what's wrong with this planet right now. Everybody's 1% is winning, 99% is losing. So if you're helping people find their light, that's huge. And you know, just take a moment right now, just check with your heart and just bow your head and just asking the divine, you know, is it time to charge? Or for people to give something. Because if you need to eat and feed yourself and you want to do this full time, yes, it's not about the money. It's about really being the win-win, and you're not getting drained, and people aren't coming to you just because you're free. And you can tithe 10%, you know, people, you can give scholarships and things like that, in payment plans. It's not about the money. It's about really receiving, so that you're giving from that full well for the pure joy and overflow, and not just suffering, sacrificing, and overgiving at the expense of yourself.
Good. Mary, so a follow-up for me is, if you're undercharging, like how Eram gave the example, you know, when she gives, you know, much less price points, everything shuts down. So like, is there that, can those kind of things be affecting the money coming in?
Yes, if you're undercharging, you're going to get drained, and you're going to get clients that you don't enjoy working with, and they don't show up and they don't do the work. And so that's how you'll know, because it won't feel like a win-win. You won't get the right clients, and you get drained. And I when I started out, I would give for free too. And it was just like, those people were always the pain in the butts. Sorry. And they have 50 million questions and they don't do the work. So, and you don't want people to say about you, oh, she's really cheap. So that people just go for that, and they don't go because they really want what you have.
Mm,
Does that make
Makes-
sense?
yeah,
And
makes
some
perfect sense.
people will get shut down. And if you have the gifted healer mark, you won't get that beautiful divine beloved, or if you're already married, it also helps the marriage. So when we are healers, basically the divine is saying, I take care of everybody. I'm actually the healer. And so you don't have to fix people, don't have to be overly responsible for people. The divine saying, I take care of everybody. So use your gifts, share with people, and receive from it. And you're not here to be overly responsible. God's got everybody. You ain't God. You might be a goddess, but you ain't God.
That's
Very-
so beautiful. I love that. Thank you.
All right, next up is Mary. Mary, you will be able to unmute yourself now.
Hi, thank you so much. It was wonderful, that meditation. I'm still coming out of it.
Oh, good. Did you get any sense of purpose or any clarity on anything?
I saw myself, which is a kind of a process. What I kind of do is whispering the
Uh-huh.
healing into somebody's body, whispering
Ooh.
prayers.
Beautiful. How did that feel to you?
It felt natural. It felt right. It felt wonderful. I just have this fear of being seen and known to what I want to do and charge for it. Just like Eram, I'm afraid to be seen and known, to take that first step to put myself out there.
Right. So that's your soul's life lesson. That's no problem. And, you know, that comes from thousands of years of it wasn't safe to do this work. And so it's really the deep healing on a soul level to know that, okay, you're safe now, right? And it's okay to be seen. You're not going to be hung. You're not going to be burnt as a witch and all these things. But to know it's, you know, that's deep stuff. It's, you know, there's these readings and these soul purpose and lessons. It's way beyond personality and psychology. This is, you're clearing thousands of years for ancestral memory, and also, you know, past life memory of, yeah, it wasn't safe, but now it's okay to be seen. And one step at a time, you do it. And I know you can.
Again, I'm very excited. I am signing up for the package and getting a reading with you. I got such a huge yes when you
Awesome.
came on. Yeah. So
Awesome.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Good
for
Good
job.
coming.
luck.
That's
God, Mary.
awesome.
Yeah, it's you can do it because God wouldn't have made it your purpose if you didn't already have the ability. It's not possible. So yeah, sometimes we do hold ourselves back. And I remember Mary Halima, when you had said to me, yeah, you're doing FHTJ and that's great, but Eram, you're not meant to be helping a few thousand, you're meant to be helping millions. And I was, frankly, it was like, no, too big. Don't want to take it. I just don't want that responsibility. It's too big and no. But when it happened, there was absolutely no stopping it. And I didn't feel inadequate at that time. So again, when I made the first video, the level of resistance was still very high. I share this story with my friends that I had gained a lot of COVID weight, and I had, moved from USA to Pakistan. In the last 10 or 15 years in the US, I had been working out very regularly. So I was really fit, and I was told by my friends very commonly that you look at least 10 years younger than your age. So then I moved to Pakistan. I gained a lot of weight. So now I'm looking, like, in my own opinion, horrible. I actually prayed to God that please, because I'm doing this to help women here. I don't want any of my friends to watch my videos, because I was thinking maybe I'll get a few hundred views, right? So I was like, please, God, don't let any of my friends in Dallas watch my videos because I look terrible. And of course, I went viral, and then everybody's watching them. And even some of my friends, Mary Halima, took the video, forwarded it to me and said, this sounds like you, but it doesn't look like you.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and I was like, oh my God. But, so yeah, there was still a lot of resistance. And like what I talked about earlier, I took the first couple of steps anyway. And then the energy was so big. I got those messages from my friends, yes, but I also was getting thousands of messages from other people who were saying, your one video changed my life. So now the energy was so big. Yeah, nothing could stop it. My resistance melted away. Everything melted away.
Yeah. And like I
So
said
sweet.
before,
Thank you.
when you're in alignment with your purpose and your mission and your gifts, the universe conspires to support you because
Yeah.
it's like everything. It's supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
So it's
And
feel the fear, do it anyway. One
do it
step.
anyway. Yeah. And Romalyn, thank you so much for saying that. But I want to point out here that it was necessary for me to go through that phase while I was overweight and stuff, because I needed to do a lot of self-love healing, right? Like, why am I so judgmental about myself? And why do I care so much about how I look? So in the beginning, the first couple of years, I kept churning out all this content while I kept gaining weight. It didn't just stop. I was still eating a lot. I love, God, that food is great there. So, and it was after 30 years that I was living there. But I got to do a lot of self-acceptance and self-healing. And then afterwards, it got easy for me to go on a good food diet so that I could release the weight, so I could be healthier. But I just really didn't care anymore about what I looked like. And it was the gift of 50s too. Women it's so empowering to be in your 50s. All right. Any other questions, Gretchen? I know we need to talk about the offer. I can chat with Mary all day long. So guys, if you want to check out the offer, it's at lifereawakened.com/Mary24. Are we taking more questions, Gretchen, or do you want to just talk about?
Yeah, there's only Patricia left, so let's
right.
unmute Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Look at that big smile. I love it.
This girl, who's this? Hi, Patricia.
You have to unmute yourself, sweetheart. You have to press the unmute button. It's on the bottom left, should be on the bottom left corner of your screen. You see a mic.
I heard you there for a minute, Patricia. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, so maybe we can move on. Sorry, Patricia, that we can't hear you.
I did
All
see
right.
her question above, so maybe you can just address it. Mary, she had asked, let me just find it. What if she didn't get anything during the meditation? And I'm sure she's not alone.
Right. I'd just say that the answer is written in their heart and soul. So if you take it into meditation or just ask for, it might come in a dream tonight, because sometimes it's easier for people with that. And so I would say before you go to bed, ask for that to come in, the dream to come in, to know. And the other thing is, you can always just put your hand on your chest and just do the sound, or the fatah, Fataah. So fatah, just open my purpose and just chant it, fatah, 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 and it will come in.
Yeah, beautiful.
Perfect.
Fatah. Yeah, I use it for a lot of things. Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah. I love that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Mary's offer. It's lifereawakened.com/24. And here we have it on the screen. Let me turn my camera off. And all right, Mary Halima, over to you, my dear.
Oh, so I would love to offer the entire blueprint of your soul through the fingerprint and palm reading. And what I do worldwide is I have a beautiful hand kit that I can ship out to you that has ink sheets, water soluble ink sheets. There's no chemicals. Easy instructions to make your handprints, and then you mail them back to me, and then we set up immediately. When I get them back, we'll set up a Zoom call, 90 minutes, and we're going to give you your whole soul blueprint. It's a lot of information. It is a deep soul transmission that lasts a lifetime. So every time you listen, you're going to hear what you need to hear. They're like, oh yeah, or you're going to hear it in a deeper way. And then over time, short time, 2-3 years, depending on how old you are, not if you're 7, but you're going to just like, oh, I did it, I'm on purpose. Yeah. What's that?
I don't know. Is that, not sure. There we go. I think
That's
it's
my yard people, so I'm going to mute myself.
okay.
Okay.
So
So
you get the kit and you get a 90-minute session, and then there's a workbook as well.
oh yeah, yeah. Everybody that kind of gets a workbooks that you can start working on before you get the reading, before you receive the hand kit and get the reading. It asks a lot of deep questions, because it's like our purpose sometimes is just what's natural to us. It's like, what did you do naturally as a kid? Did you sing? Did you play? Did you love to be the center of attention or not? Or just, to ask different questions about your life. And then in the back of it's a 32-page workbook. And in the back of the workbook, once you know your purpose, it's like how to make a plan for it. So it's really helpful to walk. It's more like a playbook. You're just remembering who you are, what you love to do. And then there's some specific exercises in writing a mission statement, and how to just take the first step, and how taking that first step, changes everything.
Awesome. And right now, guys, the price is $627. And that includes free shipping of the hand kit as well. There's a full pay and a 2-pay option. If you do the 2-pay option after your second pay is made, you will then be able to schedule your set, or you will get your kit and schedule your session. All right. And then there's a checkout. There's another 1-hour coaching call available with you, Mary. So what would that be for? You can add this on.
Yeah, so I love helping people to know their purpose, and I'm as equally excited and passionate about helping them step in and live it. So I'm offering at a very reduced price a follow-up after you've had your reading, you've listened to your recording a few times, then we'll get together and we'll just clear what's ever in the way, or if you're ready to make a plan. It's a combination coaching and healing session for your next steps and to make sure that you know where you're going and to clear what's in the way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys can check all that out. The toupee and the regular full price. And then there's tons of stories on here that are very similar to Eram's that you can read and learn how Mary has helped her clients.
Beautiful. Yeah. So again, it's lifereawakened.com/Mary24. Gretchen, if you can, there you go. Gretchen posted it again, so you can click on that and it'll take you to the offer page. And I believe, did we mention we have only 33 spots, right? We can only offer this to 33 people right now.
Correct.
So make sure you get in quickly because these will go fast. And then I don't know when we will reopen these again. So make sure you jump in quickly, ask for guidance, like what we just did in the healing meditation. You can listen to the replay, ask for guidance again. If you get a yes, take that step. Because like I said, you know, there are certain things that you may not know the next steps and there's doubt. But
Yeah.
taking a step in that direction is going to open up the energy and it's going to support you. And a lot of times for people, when it's the time and you're taking the right step, it's going to catapult you forward in ways you just cannot imagine. So for anybody who has felt confused about their life purpose, they want to know more, it brings so much clarity. So many things begin to make sense. Somebody had asked, do we have several life purposes or just one? I think we talked about it earlier too, that you typically will have one major and then you may have several minors with it, right?
Yeah. And, or the gifts may bring something different to it. And again, it's a journey and it always gets bigger and better. So it just, yeah. And so, yeah, you're unusual that you spoke and got 1 million people. Some people start out with 5 people and then they grow, you know, they graduate.
Well, I
So,
started with 5. I started with just a few in 2012, right? So
yeah,
when
but
I
it wasn't the
started
right
FA
time.
TJ, yeah.
This wasn't the timing.
And at that time, that was big for me, right? Because
Yeah.
I was in the mortgage industry. I was a lender. I didn't do this kind of stuff. It was
Yeah.
going from the corporate world into the woo-woo world of healing. It's like, it was very scary. I didn't want a lot of
Yeah.
people to know about it, you know? So, yeah.
And just know, you know, whatever's in the way is your life.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Whatever's in the way is your life lesson. So don't let your life lesson stop you because it's the training you need. You know, you are worthy. That's just false programming. You, yeah, you're here to find your voice, to speak up, to be seen, to be heard. That can be a life lesson. And then what happens is you come in and you get bullied. So everything, again, we get traumatized so that we find our life lesson right away, which is the gold. It's really the gold. So don't let your life lesson stop you because your life lesson healed and learned becomes part of your purpose. So that purpose can grow as well. So a lot of people that are supposed to be in the spotlight have issues around being lost self-worth and being seen and heard. And so you need that training and like, okay, I can do it. I can feel the fear, do it anyway. It's not brain surgery. Nobody's going to die, you know, and you just do it one step at a time. Right? If that makes sense. Yeah.
It is. It does make sense. And I'm again referring back to, of course, my experiences that when I did go viral in Pakistan and millions of people started to follow me and watch me, I got bullied like I have never seen before in my entire life. The kind of abuse, the threats, even death threats. And
Wow.
had I not had 30 years of experience fighting oppression and bullies and, you know, fighting my battles,
You're ready.
I would be gone in a day. If my purpose had just shown up like that, I would be gone in a day. Like, I don't want to do this. Heck with it. You know, I have the means and the money and the lifestyle, and I'm enjoying my life. Who cares about this, right? With all this abuse. But because I had so much experience with it, and it still was challenging. I'm not going to say that, oh no, I didn't care from day one. No, I used to cry at night, reading all the hateful comments
Ooh.
and just weeping over it. Like, I'm trying to help people. Why are they so mean? but then it was my almost like my test also. Are you going to be that example? Because then what I didn't notice at that time was that, yeah, a lot of the women were reading the comments too, that, and there were a lot of women hating on me too. But then it started to shift that they were like, she's taking all this abuse and
Yeah.
she won't quit being who she is. She won't quit being authentic. So that was inspirational.
And
So
then you become a role
everything,
model. Yeah, and then you're a role model.
yeah, and everything is connected. And recently, Mary Halima, you'll understand this. I took on Muslim scholarship like head on. I challenged them on some of the things from the Quran, and they were falsified sayings of the Prophet that were basically being used to oppress women. So I took them on. I made a video. I proved it from the Quran and the life of the Holy Prophet that what you guys are saying is made up. It's wrong. It's false. And I just sat there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get death threats. I know it. Not a one.
Well,
Not a
when you
one.
speak the truth, who can argue? The truth is
Yeah,
just,
it was so interesting. I'm like,
uh,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, you
So
had that strength built in you. You were ready. Wow.
yeah,
But
God made me a badass. I'm happy to admit that. After taking abuse for 30 years and fighting the battles, yeah. He
Yeah.
turned me into this woman who was going to do this. And I'm very, very grateful. I am so grateful for the challenges because without those challenges, I would not be the person who I am today.
Right.
So
Wow.
very
Beautiful.
great. Equally grateful for the challenges as I'm grateful for the blessings because they all fit, into the puzzle. And it all makes sense.
It's a perfect blueprint. It's all of it is elegant. The divine is elegant, has an elegant plan for each of us.
Yeah.
there's one comment that I would love to read because I think there's probably a lot of people that feel this way, and I felt this way in my life. Vladana wrote in, I have fear of hearing what future holds, fear of misreading the meanings of the signs, also fearing that would limit me, questioning my empathetic abilities and feelings and what they're telling me. This holds me back. So I would love, Mary, to hear your comment on that.
That is beautiful question. I love it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, empaths are here to bring heaven to earth. You're here to hold the light. And wherever you are holding your light without fear, you're an acupuncture point on the planet. So just know that you're here to hold the light. There is a life lesson called fear of tomatoes. And there's also one of the schools in Earth University is called learning to feel the fear and do it anyway. And really what the medicine is, don't try to eat the apple in one bite, one day at a time. Build your trust with yourself and the divine and the light. Spend daily time in nature. Let nature lift you up into the higher dimensions and the higher frequency. And it may be that that's the lesson you came to learn, is to feel the fear and do it anyway. And so to find out that it feels in your bones like it's life or death. And what you need to learn, that this lifetime, the divine wants you to have it easy. And maybe you had lifetimes of where it was that way, but now it's different. But it's just one day at a time. I'll do one thing today, one thing the next day. And the divine has the blueprint in the sky for you and will take you where you need to go one day at a time. So it's really learning trust. It feels like that's what you're learning on a deep soul level. Trust your higher self, yourself, your light, and trust the divine has a plan for you. It unfolds one day at a time.
That
I
was
hope.
so
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I would like to add just a couple of things here.
Mhm.
That is why it is so important not to go to just any Tom, Dick, or Harry to get your reading, because you want to be with a person who, first of all, knows what they're talking about, has a lot of experience in it. And second, they also understand, like you said, Mary Halima, that you've taken a vow, and there's certain principles that you follow.
I
Because
don't predict because this is free
yeah.
will. Things can change. Timelines are changing every day.
And when people start predicting and it's something negative, I know that it can have, I think it's somebody said 20 times more powerful. I think it's more. I think it's probably 100 times more powerful when somebody tells you something negative is going to happen, your life can change because of that. And now it's been implanted into your head and you probably will manifest it anyway. You know, one of the things, you probably know this, Mary Halima, that you know, in the Sufi teachings, there's also an art of dream interpretation. And same thing, you know, we're told that when you have what you call a bad dream, you're supposed to just, you know, kind of just go make like a spitting sound to your left side, say, I seek refuge in God. And then you're not supposed to tell that dream to anybody, because a lot of times what has
It
been,
adds power. It adds
yeah,
power.
yeah, because if they interpret the dream in a negative way, now you're going to probably have it manifest. So we are strictly told not to share our dreams, especially the ones we think are negative, with anybody, unless it's somebody with a lot of knowledge, like Mary Halima, but not just knowledge, but also having the ethics of dealing with this kind of stuff, because you're dealing with people's lives. You can impact them in a negative way. It's very important to choose wisely who is going to do a reading for you, whether it's astrological reading, hand analysis, anything. You have to choose people that are very committed to the ethics. Hence, one of the biggest reasons why on this platform, we usually do not bring on, you know, people that are just psychics and people that I choose people very, very carefully, because then it's going to come back on me too, that for the sake of making money, I'm bringing on people that are going to hurt other people's lives. Right.
Yeah.
So we're very, very careful about that.
Yeah.
So, wow.
I think we're at time.
9
Wow.
minutes. Yeah.
Fast.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. So again, for Mary Halima's life soul analysis reading, it's lifereawakened.com, Mary 24. And I highly encourage you, because my experience with Mary Halima has been great. I have also had my VIP clients get sessions from her. They absolutely just loved her, especially the one that you did, Mary Halima, who's a younger girl. And how fortunate that at a younger age, she's able to know all this so that she can move forward in her life. And she recently, last week, she messaged me how much her life has changed, and she's really implementing a lot of the things. So it's really amazing. And thank you so much, my dear. As always, it was just
my honor and
wonderful.
privilege.
It was my honor as well. It was so beautiful to be able to share this space with you today. Thank you so much. And thank you to all our wonderful listeners, our viewers, actually, for being here, for supporting us through your beautiful energies. Thank you so much. And those of you that are going to be investing in this reading, I hope and pray that you get everything that you are hoping and praying for. All the blessings and love. All right. Thank you very much. Gretchen, bye-bye. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.